This is just going to be a quick video on how I'm going to edit this photo. So I recently took this at a football game that I was at. First thing that we're going to do, we're just going to crop into how we want. Going to go for more of a vertical crop so it could be posted on social media. So that's going to be our crop. It's going to be kind of our starting point. The next thing that I'm going to do, I'm just going to fix any white balance. I want to try to bring this down just a bit. Bring this to here. Gonna see if we need to fix anything with the exposure. Just some basic adjustments. Let's bring down some of those highlights because some of them are clipping. And then we can actually bring up some of those shadows just a little bit. And then right here, we're gonna add a bit of vibrance, small bit of saturation. And then I'm gonna come here to my tone curve. And I'm just gonna do quick little S curve. Anything that kind of gets blown out right here, we can always fix later. This is just basic adjustment. And we'll do this. So far this is what we have. Now we're going to go into our mask right here. I'm going to start off with my subject. We're going to get him exposed properly. So we're going to bring that up just a little bit. We're going to bring up some of these shadows, bring down some of those highlights, and we'll warm them up just a little bit. That should be good for that. We're also going to add a slight bit of clarity, bit of texture, bit of dehaze, not that much right there. Now we're going to go into our background. What I like to do with the background on some of these sports photos is I like to drop the clarity. So I'm just going to pull that down. That's going to give the photo a bit of a glow. Drop some of the texture. Right here, I'm going to add a bit more contrast in the background, just so it kind of separates away from the subject. Pull this down right here so everything kind of darkens. What that also did, that kind of added a bit more saturation, so I'm just going to desaturate the background a little bit. We might come back to that, but the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a radial gradient right here to the sun. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to place that there, and then I'm going to subtract my subject from it just so he doesn't get affected by this light. I'm going to raise that just a little bit. Also going to add some warmth to it and make it a bit less green. Pull that there, and then I'm really going to drop the clarity on this just so we have that nice glow effect. Next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to come here with a linear gradient. I'm going to pull this from here. Actually, we'll pull this from behind him right here. And we're going to subtract this radial gradient, kind of just where it was. We're going to subtract that just so it's not as big of an effect. And then we're also going to subtract our subject. And right here, I'm also just going to raise this a little bit. And then now what we're going to do, we're going to come in here, linear gradient from here. Lower this exposure, and we'll pull one coming from here. We'll lower that a little bit. And then let's see what else we can do. Let's go brush, make it relatively large, raise the flow and density a little bit, feather it out a bit more. And we'll go here and we'll just add a bit of exposure along the edges, kind of on his face a little bit. Just raise that right there. Just kind of getting where we got some highlights in him to be exposed a bit more, just to kind of pull those out. Just like this. So this is what we've got so far with just our masking. So that's just basic photo adjustments right there. That's with all our masks so far. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to have a brush where we kind of bring down the exposure, and we're just going to bring that right here along this part of his body, side of his face. That looks good. Gonna make these shadows just a bit darker on the grass. Just like that. Next thing we're gonna do, let's go back to our normal adjustments. We're gonna go into the color mixer. Where's that color mixer? Right here. And we're just gonna play with some of this yellow. So the yellow is gonna be kind of our grass. Desaturate that a little bit. Kind of make that a bit brighter on the yellows. Gonna have our blue here. Play with that in the sky just a little bit. Make it towards a little bit more green. Add a bit of saturation in the sky. Kind of bring down the luminance in the sky. Alright. Gonna take our green. We'll desaturate our greens in here. Kind of raise those just a slight bit. Make them a bit more green. And then let's see what we can do. If we've got oranges, that's going to affect his skin tone. So right here, I actually want to desaturate that a little, just so his skin tone isn't so saturated. We're going to raise those just a slight bit. And I like that. I think that's going to be our final image. So we go from the image on the left all the way to the image on the right. You can see we got good sharpness in the face. We could also do a bit of denoise, just a little bit. It looks like some of our edits cause just a slight bit of noise. Just come down here, little luminance, noise reduction. Now we've got that. No noise in the photo. Colors look good. That's before, this is after. Thank you for watching. If you want to know any of these kind of like masks that I did or anything, there's videos on my page about it and how to do them. This was just a quick video to kind of give you some insight into my editing style and how I like to work for my sports photos. Thank you for watching.